Hey, this is Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com, and today we're going to attack a topic called 5 tips for massive legs. Now, why do I feel I'm an expert at this? Well, I was bedridden for a whole year as a kid, and to build my massive legs took a long time. So let's get to it. The first thing that you're going to have to understand is that you're going to have to be able to do an intense amount of volume in order for your legs to grow. What does this mean? This means you're going to have to be in pretty good shape in order to be able to train your legs hard enough. Meaning that if you're not in good enough shape, you're probably not going to be able to recover from intensive workouts. Now, the other thing that if you want to put a lot of muscle mass on your legs long term is you're probably not going to be able to train your legs more than twice a week. Why? You need 72 hours for those tissues and, more importantly, ligaments and tendons to recover. So remember that every time I'm talking to you guys, I'm not trying to find a shortcut way to get better. I'm trying to show you the long-term way to get better and not pay for what you're doing. So I know that there are videos and programs of people telling you to squat 5 times a week and do all this other crazy jargon. In reality, your body can really only recover from about 2 days a week. Now, if your thought process is to only be around for a couple of years, then by all means try all these areas. But for me, to get my legs as big as they could become, I had to last a long time in the game. So remember, you can only train your legs twice a week, but those twice a week need to be very grueling, and you need to be in shape in order to recover from those workouts. The next thing that you need for leg training is you're going to need multi-joint movements. And what does this mean? This means you're going to have to be able to deadlift, and you're going to have to be able to squat for your legs to grow. Now, I know a lot of pro bodybuilders will argue with me on this situation, but let's just be honest. Let's take some of the biggest legs in the world that ever existed. Ronnie Coleman, for example. His legs were fucking ginormous, but the point is he was still a good squatter and a decent deadlifter. I mean, even in powerlifting standards, he was good. So the point is that I think that for most people that you're going to have to get stronger in order to get bigger. And why is this the case? Well, in my opinion, the stronger you get, then submaximal weights also become heavier. So for instance, let's say I'm a 600-pound bencher, okay? So today I did 150-pound dumbbells for 20 reps on the flat bench as a burnout set after my workout. Now, if I wasn't strong enough to move those 150s 20 times, and I had to use, say, 75s, which would be a more common dumbbell size for that particular type of movement, how much bigger am I going to get just because I'm stronger? The answer is quite a bit. Why? Because my accessory work can be utilized with heavier resistances. So getting stronger allows you to move heavier weights for more reps. So if you think about it in that kind of archaic way, you have to get stronger in order to lift more weights at a lighter intensity, right? So 80% of 600 is a lot heavier than 80% of 300. The next thing that you're going to have to understand with leg training is that you're going to have to change and move around your different positions. So if you're doing, let's say, leg extensions, you're going to have to change the way your toe pitch is. Sometimes your toe pitch is going to have to be in, medium, or neutral, or out. The reason that this is the case is that, yes, you might be able to gain similar leg size on keeping everything exactly the same. Hence, a lot of people busting balls on like muscle confusion. But the big topic that nobody's talking about is mileage. And this means that if I'm training an exercise with different movements, positioning, right? So let's say I squat narrow, I squat wide, I squat heel elevated, I squat flat shoed, all these different things, what's going to end up happening is that that person that's rotating those movements is going to end up squatting much, much longer months and years, therefore having more total volume and more total muscle gain and size. I think the problem with most people wanting massive legs or massive anything upper body or anything in general is that they're trying to find the fastest way to do it, and that leads them down the wrong track. Because what ends up happening is that yeah, there are a lot of ways to make your quads or your legs bigger and do a very standard, basic workout where things aren't very rotated. But let's just say for the sake of saying that 6 months after you do that cycle, your knees are shot, or you're injured, or you have a ligament tear, or your ACL is giving you problems, or your meniscus is swollen. The point is that it wasn't worth it, because now you're going to have to back down what you were doing in order to let all that soft tissue recover, and therefore you're not going to be as big as the guy that can keep locomotive through the actual exercises and workouts because he's rotating movements. So remember that you need rotation as well in order to get super strong and have big legs. The next big thing for big legs is big nutrition. And what this means is that you're going to have to be in a caloric surplus with the proper calories in order to create big legs. Now, my legs were the biggest at about 31.5 inches when I weighed 300 and something pounds. Now my legs have stayed around 30 inches and I'm down 60. The point is that I had to get a lot of calories in for my legs to want to grow. The body doesn't tend to want to put on muscle in a caloric deficit. So if you're trying to diet and you think that you're going to be able to get lean and strong and big at the same time, good luck with that. And it is possible. But the problem is that basic scientific equation is just too complicated for most people to figure out. You have to know almost down to the calorie what you need to be eating, and you need to be having all of that dialed in on a consistent basis, which just isn't really usable for most people unless you're a professional athlete. So the point is that you might want to bump your calories up 200, 300, 400 calories a day, especially on the day that you train the legs, and see if that starts helping your legs grow. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not going to bullshit you. Some people have the genetics to get big legs and some people don't. But at the end of the day, you can work really, really hard and you can make big progress on what you're doing by following these simple instructions. So remember, don't ignore getting stronger, rotate your movements, and eat in order to gain that leg size that you want. So if you have any other questions or you need to know anything about working out, we have a great online coaching staff and the manuals are a great resource in order for you to train smarter and train harder. So I'll see you at wenningstrength.com.